Chapter 53. The following Wednesday, Marcia paid us a surprise visit at the Blue Dahlia. She gestured Snooky and me to her table between sets. Our Dahlia shows had settled into an uneasy tedium by this point, and this particular night I was tired, and, as Snooky liked to put it, something of a bitch, and not really in the mood for my dear manager, she whose most noteworthy accomplishment to date remained the procuring of the Blue Dahlia gig. "Sit down," she said. "I've got a proposition for you." "We talking television, Marcia?" I asked. "I'm working on it," she said. It had become an involuntary response, like blinking. "Seems I've heard that song before," I muttered. Marcia shot me a gonad-withering glance. "We gonna talk? We gonna argue?" she said. "Sorry." "As a matter of fact," Marcia continued, "I'm talking Las Vegas." "Vegas?" Snooky's face... "Vegas?" Snooky's face lit up like a slot machine flashing 3 cherries. Bing, bing, bing. "Now wait." Marcia made a fast smoothing over gesture with her cigarette hand. "Let's not get too excited here. Let me tell you what the deal is." The deal was that another of Marcia's protégés had been given a shot at 2 weeks in a Vegas lounge on a trial basis, sort of a long, expensive audition, really. And in order to showcase her client in the best possible fashion, it was Marcia's wish to employ Snooky on auxiliary keyboards and myself on backup vocals. I was skeptical. I was used to working solo, in one, alone. The thought of being shanghaied into an act, not of my own design, was less than attractive. Besides, I had never done backup work before, and I was none too sure I wanted to. "I understand you're a solo artist, Johnny," Marcia said, "but it might be a good thing for you. You've never played Vegas, you've never done a tour, even a short one. The experience could be helpful. Besides," she added, "Randy's doing backups too, and heaven knows she's a solo artist." Randy? Somehow I couldn't imagine that Cajun wild woman stepping back and making with the Dulangs for anyone. "Look," she said finally, "at least come and see Lavinia's act." "Lavinia?" Snooky said through a snorting laugh. "There's a person named Lavinia?" "Lavinia White," said Marcia. "She's playing Saturday nights here." Lavinia White was easily among the 10 most beautiful women I had ever seen. She was a caramel-dipped Joey Heatherton. Her hair looked like you could comb it with a feather. Her skin looked like if you bit her, she'd taste like butterscotch pudding. And a cinched-in, backless, strapless, white gauze potato sack of a dress that would make 4 out of 5 women look like a white gauze sack of potatoes, Lavinia White looked like an artist's rendering of the original sin. Lavinia White was a woman of the utmost beauty, style, and poise, and it would seem the barest minimum of talent. She was the basic color girl pop singer with Diana Ross affectations right off the rack, except she was less talented than most. Marcia Goldman discovered Lavinia White while the latter was representing the city of Compton in the Miss Black Southern California beauty pageant, and the former was, quite inexplicably, a judge. Lavinia placed dead last in the talent competition. Her rendition of God Bless the Child placed her well behind Miss Black Hawthorne, whose talent entry consisted of displaying the dresses she'd sewn from Simplicity patterns, and reportedly opened every automatic garage door within a 2-mile radius. She placed second overall. This dazzling display of image over talent impressed Marcia enough that she immediately signed the girl as her initial management client. From the ringside table where I sat, flanked by Snooks and Marcia, I shredded my cocktail napkin in a nervous agitation as Lavinia opened her act with a reading of Love Hangover that no doubt seriously hastened the death of disco. Snooky slapped at my hand, playfully but firmly, and hissed, "Be nice." I bit down hard on my plastic drink stirrer when, during the light smattering of applause which followed her first number, Lavinia smiled wide enough to smudge plum-colored lipstick onto both her ears, spread her impossibly thin arms as if to hug the Blue Dahlia in its entirety, and shouted, "Thank you, you're beautiful, Lavinia loves you," at a decibel level that made the speakers distort. Lavinia executed a variation on this move after every single song. When, during her last number, reach out and touch somebody's hand, natch. Lavinia, in total disregard of her audience's almost complete inattention, not only dismounted the stage and shook hands with fully half the audience, disengaging fingers from cocktail glasses by force when necessary, but even managed to get a couple of the more alcoholic weekend patrons to sing off-key into her microphone. I knew I was in the presence of showbiz success in the making. Lavinia White was born to play Vegas. She was beautiful in the extreme, marginally talented at best, and as phony as a wax banana in your Aunt Hildy's fruit bowl. Lavinia White was Las Vegas. Something told me that a 2-week Vegas stint with Lavinia Loves You would definitely be 2 weeks for the diary. Like running away with the circus for 2 weeks, only stranger. Besides, as Marcia had pointed out, I'd never been to Vegas. I'd never been on tour. And, as Marcia could not possibly have pointed out, I dearly needed some time away from Keith, just to think about our relationship without his beautiful, emotional, influential presence. I tapped Marcia on the arm. I'll do it. You will? Marcia smiled nearly as wide as Lavinia, after all. You will? Marcia smiled nearly as wide as Lavinia. After all, she had very little chance of hiring Snooky for her magical mystery tour if I had chosen not to go. You're kidding. Snooky's face simultaneously registered both his understandable disgust at the spectacle we were witnessing and his equally understandable surprise that I would choose to take active part in it. Why not? I said. We're long overdue for an adventure, aren't we, Snooks? Snooky smiled. His best friend is a lunatic smile. Snooky smiled. His my best friend is a lunatic smile. I shrugged my so what else is new shrug.